And next, we'll hear about the latest developments in a case alleging that top Biden officials colluded with social media companies to suppress speech about the Hunter Biden laptop story, the origins of COVID-19, the efficacy of masks, and election integrity. Earlier today, I spoke with the litigation counsel at New Civil Liberties Alliance, Janine Eunice, about a Friday ruling that Dr. Anthony Fauci and other White House officials must testify in the case. Janine Eunice, welcome to our show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you're representing some of the plaintiffs in a federal case alleging government censorship via Twitter, Facebook, and Google. First off, could you summarize the case?
Yes. So NCLA, where I work, is representing four private plaintiffs, two of whom co-authored the Great Barrington Declaration, which questioned government COVID restrictions. The crux of the lawsuit is that the federal government has been directing social media companies to censor people who have certain views on COVID. The lawsuit is actually broader and encompasses like election misinformation and the Hunter Biden laptop, but our plaintiffs are only the COVID misinformation plaintiffs. So we're alleging that that's a First Amendment violation because the government is effectively using private parties to accomplish its censorship aims.
And a federal judge has ruled that Dr. Anthony Fauci and other White House officials must testify in a case. How significant is that?
It's pretty significant. It's rare for high-level, high-ranking government officials to be deposed or for a judge to order that that's warranted. And the reason that we were able to show that it is that the judge had ordered discovery. So we got lots of email communications between the federal officials and the tech companies showing an orchestrated campaign where the government was really directing the social media companies, telling them what to do, what kind of post to censor, in some cases even who to censor. And so the judge found that that was an extraordinary enough situation and enough to establish a First Amendment violation, and so said we had the right to sort of seek more information. And there are indications in the emails that there were phone calls and Zoom meetings, so we want to know what happened at those meetings that are not, they're not written down.
And Dr. Fauci has denied censoring big tech, but as you mentioned, emails between top government officials and big tech seem to show otherwise. So what can we expect from these depositions then?
Well, we don't know. I'll be very curious. I mean, of course, what we're interested in learning about is the extent and degree of the government's involvement and nature of the government's involvement. We already know that it's quite significant, that there was really a sort of a vast censorship enterprise. I think there's enough right now to establish a First Amendment violation and for the court to hold that. But, we obviously want to know if there's even more if this went even further. So, we want to be able to question them about that.
So do you think that there's an opportunity here to rethink the First Amendment in the context of censorship surrogacy? And what do you think could be done or should be done to protect free speech in the age of big tech?
That's an excellent question, and I think that's sort of what this case is all about. I mean, there's no precedent for this for obvious reasons because we never really had social media before, and until this era, the past few years, there really hasn't been sort of an orchestrated censorship to take down certain viewpoints. It's mostly been limited to people who say, for instance, anti-Semitic things or racist things or that kind of material. So this is just new territory, and I think it's really important to establish that the government can't use these private companies. The government can't be involved in telling them, who can be heard and who has to be silenced.
Thank you so much, Janine Eunice, litigation counsel for the New Civil Liberties Alliance. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.